Joining me now is the Bellator MMA lightweight champion who, of course, won the title with a first-round injury TKO win over Michael Chandler this past summer in June at Bellator NYC on the main card. It is Brent Primus back on the show. Brent, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Now, first off, I think the main reason we're talking is because Michael Chandler recently was on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, and basically said that he is moving on from a rematch with you. Of course, it was talked about, the rematch was talked about a lot because there was a bit of controversy in the fight. You're doing well, but, he hurt his leg, his ankle, and people will say different things about the injury, but nonetheless, it wasn't, the cleanest victory, I guess you could agree that, a fight could be ended by. What happened exactly? What are you not, super in favor of as far as what Chandler said recently? What are you wanting to respond to? Basically, you said he turned down the rematch. He said you turned down the rematch. What's going on?
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. There's a lot of confusion and bull crap, but I don't know what's going on. It just seems like, man, all the stories and everything that they're telling me doesn't add up, So, but I mean, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Before I even fought Chandler, I asked my manager in Bellator if I could have like a month or two off, win or lose, after I fought him, because I was having a baby 4 weeks after, the Chandler fight. And I literally was gone for that whole my wife's pregnancy, training for all these camps, and so I kind of neglected my wife. So I really just wanted to be there for my baby and, help my wife around the house. And so, like, after that fight happened, I got a call a couple weeks after the fight and said, hey, do you want to rematch Chandler in October? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. But I told you guys I wanted like a month to hang out with my baby and my family, so if we could, I'm down to fight him anytime after that, in December, January, anywhere. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll set that up. And so I thought that I was going to fight Chandler in December, this month. And then, that didn't happen. I got a call from my manager saying that I'm going to rematch Chandler January 26th at the Pechanga Center. And I got this text message and a call from a manager probably a month and a half ago saying that we're going to fight on the 26th of January. And so I was like, all right, cool, send me the contract. And, we were starting to get ready for him. We were starting to get a good game plan going again. And about a week later, my manager called me and said he literally declined the rematch with you and asked to fight somebody else at 170 or to fight somebody else. And I literally was just blown away. I could not believe it, and I still cannot believe it. And then, so it is what it is. And I know Bellator was really counting on us fighting and getting that rematch because a lot of the fans want to see it, and there's just controversy and everything. So, and then, they told me that I'm probably going to be fighting Pitbull or another lightweight, and so I've been waiting for that contract. But, man, it's just crazy. I 100% thought I was fighting Chandler, and now we're not. And what's even the bigger surprise to me is that he's telling everybody that I backed out of the rematch and I don't want to fight him. And that's craziness because I have a contract to fight who Bellator, wants me to fight. I'm the champion. I have to fight the best guys. I have to fight who the fans want and Bellator wants. And it was Chandler, and it had nothing to do with me. I 100% thought we were fighting. And what's crazy is, like, I told him I'll fight him in December anytime. And so I was waiting for the rematch, the contract to fight him in December. And it's just weird, man. He's fighting another lightweight, and he's not fighting me for the belt after all that crap he's been talking. So it's just weird, man. I'm totally blown away.
Now, in that interview with Ariel Helwani, that was already almost 3 weeks ago, so perhaps something has happened since then. Maybe you're just waiting. Who knows? But what he said he asked for the fight in October at Mohegan Sun. Now, that is understandable. That's sort of what you brought up. You didn't want to take that fight that soon just because of your new child, and congratulations, by the way. And then, of course, it seems like from what you just told me, December was the earliest you would be wanting to take the fight. Now, where it gets confusing is he said, so he asked for it in November. Okay, that sort of makes sense. But then he also said he asked for it December overseas. Is there any truth to that, or is he just straight up lying?
Dude, he's lying, man. Like, I asked to fight him in December. I mean, I thought we were going to. And then, so I was like, okay, if I'm not going to fight him in December because I didn't get the contract, maybe it's going to be in January. And so I thought it was going to be January. And then it finds out he is fighting another lightweight. Man, I literally I have no idea what's going on. Like, it's crazy that people believe Chandler, like, that they believe that I can literally just get a contract, that Bellator can send me a contract, and I can just brush it away and say, no, I don't want to fight him. Send me somebody else to fight. That's too hard. I mean, it's just insane to me, like, I was ready to fight Chandler, and that's what it is. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy, man. It doesn't make sense what I'm hearing with Chandler and Bellator and everything. It just doesn't make sense to me because, when they asked me to fight in October, I said, let's do it in December. And they said, okay. And then now he's fighting somebody else in January. It just freaking confusing, man. I have no idea what's going on.
Definitely confusing. So you wanted to fight December. He seemed to want to fight in December. At least that's what he's saying. Bellator wanted to fight. I know, go back a few months, they were wanting to fight. You were down, but not, you would have taken the Pitbull fight, but they seemed adamant, and Bellator seemed adamant that they wanted the rematch. So is there any way this was some sort of miscommunication with Bellator? Maybe they changed their mind and you didn't hear about that? Or is this just 100% as far as you know on Chandler?
I mean, there's something that, there might be something that Bellator's not telling me or something, but from what I just said, it's 100% the truth, man. Like, they asked if I want to fight in October, and I said, no, let's do it in December. And they're like, okay, let's do it in December. And then I got a text from Bellator saying that they want me to fight Chandler in January. So I was like, oh, cool. Let's do this. It's even more time to get prepared and stuff like that. And so I thought we were fighting in January, man. It's freaking crazy. And so, man, there's something, I'm not really sure, man. The only thing I can think of is, man, I don't know. Chandler didn't want to fight me. That's all there is to it, because he had the opportunity. And I was saying this a couple of days ago. What also sucks is, I'm the champion. You would think that I would have some say in what's going on, but literally Chandler has all the power. Man, he's their golden boy. He's been their golden boy for years, and he's went in there and fought battles and proven himself. So he has the balls in his court, man, which is crazy because I'm the champion. But he literally just threw the ball fucking out of bounds because he had the opportunity to fight me, and he decided to fight somebody else, and that's period. That's the end of the story right there. So I don't know what's going on.
And as you mentioned, he is set to take on Goiti Yamauchi in January. But maybe even the most interesting and somewhat confusing part of this whole situation, just because he seemed, from an earlier interview from about September, I want to say, he talked about, I'm down to fight Primus. It's not my only option. It's not the only thing I would take. He considered he said he was considering a move up to welterweight, as you know, and it seemed like it was either going to be the Primus fight, against you, or it was going to be a move up in weight. Maybe fight Rory McDonald, maybe fight whoever. So that is what I find even more confusing than anything else. The fact that it seemed like it was a lightweight title rematch against you or a move up, and that the move up in weight, wanting to fight in a heavier weight class, would be the reasoning for not wanting to fight for the title at 155. So now he's fighting a lightweight contender. Is that just as confusing, to you, or what?
I am blown away, man. Like, I literally, my manager called me after he told me that I'm not fighting Chandler. He said he wants to fight somebody else. And so I was like, man, that is freaking weird. Like, what's a bigger fight than me? And like you said, I thought he was going to go up to 170 and fight Roy McDonald or one of these guys with a big name. And so that's the only thing I could think of. And then I was training at the gym, and after training, I looked at my phone, and somebody called me and said, hey, man, can I do an interview with you? I just found out Chandler's fighting Yamauchi. Man, I always murder his name. I'm sorry.
Yamauchi, I think, something like that.
Yeah, Yamauchi, and at lightweight in January 26th. And, dude, I just can't believe it. It just seems like such a weird fight for him. Like, not only, he's fighting at 155 lightweight, and he could have fought me for the belt, the title, and now he's fighting somebody at the same weight, the same month that we could have been fighting. It is freaking weird, man. I have no idea what's going on. It's crazy. And not only that, like, Yamauchi, he's not no joke. He's a tough dude, man. He's a tough guy, so it's just weird. I don't know. It's just weird. Dude, I'm seriously as confused as everybody else is. And not only that, it just sucks that I'm still sitting here every day. I wake up in the morning and I look at my phone expecting a contract, a new fight, and I don't have it. It's like, it's weird that Chandler has one before me. Like, it's just crazy. Like, if anything, I should be fighting on the 20th, and I should be fighting Yamauchi,
Right.
Like, just insane to me. I have no idea what's going on, and it sucks because, I mean, I know that they weren't expecting me to win, and like I said before, you know, Chandler's their golden boy. He's on their commercials. He's still promoting and doing all this stuff, and as bad as it sucks, you know, it kind of just lights a fire in me and just makes me want to get in there, defend my belt, and crush these guys, you know, and as bad as I wanted that rematch, because all these haters and all these people are saying all this crap, and as bad as I wanted that rematch, man, it's not happening for some freaking reason. It has nothing to do with me.
Have you been calling Bellator like all every day when you wake up and you're anticipating a contract and it's not there? Have you been calling them and saying what's up, like when am I going to fight, or have you just been waiting patiently?
I mean, I have a manager. That's what my manager does. I've talked to my manager all the time, and I've been with my manager in person the last month or two, and while he's calling Bellator and talking to the matchmakers, and not only that, I talked to Bellator on, I think it was Monday or something like that, and you know, I was talking to them about a bunch of stuff, and they said they should have a fight for me any day. And so,
and that was Monday this week?
Yeah, it was Monday, and yeah, it was Monday, and they told me I should have a fight any day. And so here I am, man, again, waiting to defend this belt and to shut up all these haters, man, because I'm definitely sick of all the controversy and all the bull crap, and I'd love to get in there and show why I'm the champ and why I have the belt.
So at this point in time, it does not seem like the Chandler rematch will be happening. Maybe down the road in the future, but not right now, not immediately. Are you happy? Are you disappointed? I know when I first talked to you after you won the title, just a week or two after, you were okay if they wanted to fight, do the Chandler rematch. You were fine with that. You understood it, but you weren't. It didn't. To me, my sort of what I got from that interview was that you weren't going to go and call Michael Chandler out. Like, you had nothing really to gain necessarily. It wasn't a fight you're super eyeing. But I think that sort of changed. Like, I know even just earlier today you said you wanted that rematch. Are you disappointed that it's not happening? Are you happy? Sort of what is your reaction to it not happening?
I mean, at first I really did not care. Like, I knew what happened in that fight, and so did Chandler. Like, we both knew. Our cornermen know. Scott Coker knows. The doctors know what happened. And my game plan literally worked to a T. And I know it might be hard for people to see and just how the announcers were saying in the instant replay and everything, but I would 100% bet my life on it that my kick caused that nerve damage and caused him to, limp around like a newborn cow, I know my kick did it. I bet my life on it. I bet my family on it, and I know he could not say the same thing because he knows what happened. And so, after that fight, I was like, man, I know what happened. I beat him. But if the fans want to see it again and somebody else do, let's do it. I don't really care. But as it went on, like I knew that I finished him with my techniques and my game plans, so I wasn't really too worried about fighting him again. But now all this crap and all the insane bull crap that this dude is saying is it's irritating. It's pissing me off, and I would definitely was wanting that rematch just to shut up all the haters, and I was really looking forward to kicking him in the same exact spot in that leg so damn hard, way harder than I did before, and I was going to mix it up and do a bunch of cool things, and maybe if we do fight someday, I'm going to expose him again, and it's going to be funny if he says he rolled his ankle twice.
Have you moved on? I mean, he said he's moved on from the rematch against you. Have you, though? Or is there still sort of something in the back of your head saying, kind of want that rematch?
This guy says he moved on. Oh, that's hilarious. I guarantee he thinks about me freaking every hour of the day. Because every single time, man, like every day I'll be chilling, and then I see that Chandler did some interview, and he's talking about me, and my names are in his interviews and everything. I'm not talking about him. The only reason why I'm talking about him right now is because he went on the MMA Hour a few weeks ago and just made up a bunch of lies. Like, literally, this guy reminds me of like a high school little freshman, just making up all these rumors and all this crap. It's just some little high school chick. It reminds me of he should be going to prom or something instead of fighting in Bellator, because he just just makes up a bunch of crap. I think he really likes listening to his voice and looking in the mirror and stuff. So I think that's pretty much what it is.
Why do you think he has moved on? Because as we sort of touched on earlier, he's fighting Yamauchi. It doesn't make the most sense because, again, it should have been probably 170 or the rematch against you. Why is this the case? Like, does he just not want to fight? Why isn't this happening? What would is it? Do you have any idea why this fight isn't being put together?
You're gonna have to ask Chandler, man. I have no idea. I do know that if he was to rematch me and I would beat him just like I did the first time, it's gonna put him back pretty far. It's gonna be hard for him to get a title shot, and it's gonna all that. I was thinking either that or maybe it's his last fight in his contract, and they don't want him to fight for the belt before he wants to move on to bigger things or something. I don't know, man. I don't know what he's thinking, or maybe he just doesn't want to get kicked in the leg and get exposed and have to come up with another excuse and hide behind the instant replay or whatever. I have no idea, but I just know that I was 100% ready to rematch him, and we're not, and it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with either him or business, because it has nothing to do with me. I was 100% expecting to rematch Chandler.
When you say you think there's a possibility Bellator might not want Chandler fighting for the title in his last fight on his contract, in the chance that he wants to move on to bigger and better things. What do you mean by that? Are you talking UFC or another title fight in Bellator? What do you mean by that?
Man, I don't know. You can use it. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of all the possibilities that it could be, and that's the only thing I can think of is he's either scared, doesn't want to get kicked in the leg again, and doesn't want to lose because it's going to drop him back and it's going to be really hard for him to get a title shot, or he has one more fight on his contract and he's wanting to move to bigger things, or that's the only thing I can think of. I have no idea, man. Like, why, you're smart. What do you think? Why do you think this is not happening? Like, I don't know. And
it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Another thing is Ariel Helwani. That guy is just a damn jerk, dude. Like, he has freaking Chandler on his show, just rubbing his feet, and they're looking at each other's eyes as they're doing their interview. I don't know what they're doing, but it's just so one-sided. I've tried to reach out to Ariel Helwani, and I've tried to get on his show and tell him my side of the story, the truth, and he totally avoids me, doesn't want anything to do with me. So as far as I'm concerned, Ariel Helwani's a joke, and he's just a one-sided dude, and it might as well be, Fox or CNN because it's just one-sided. And that guy's, man, this guy's a punk.
I'm interested to know, did he actually, you reached out to him on Twitter or where?
Yeah, and then I messaged him on freaking Twitter, on Instagram. I messaged his show. That guy, I've never done anything to him. I don't know why I don't know, man. I have no idea. But I tried reaching out to him, and there's even people tweeting, why don't you have the champ on there? Why don't you have Brent on there and tell his side of the story? And he just ignores. I don't know. That guy is just a one-sided show, and I think that he's all about Chandler, and he likes massaging him and looking at his eyes and telling sweet stories to each other because, that seems like what they do on their show.
Next time he does the MMA Hour, so next Monday, so a few days from now, you should call in. So they have like a part of the show when they'll take listener calls in and all that. And I remember, I want to say last week it was Ariel had Paige Van Zandt on to talk about. I guess I don't remember exactly what it was. She had some certain claims against Jessica I. I says Paige Van Zandt turned down that fight, and they went back and forth. And I wasn't scheduled to be on that show, but then she tweeted Ariel and called in, and he actually talked to I for a few minutes to get his side. So I wondered that might work.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. It really is a good idea. I might have to do that.
What is next for you? Of course, again, as it seems, as we stand right now, the Chandler rematch is off. It seems likely to me that you would be fighting Patricky Pitbull next. You guys talked a little bit on Twitter a month or two back. You guys seem down to do the rematch. I know, or not the rematch, but fight. Patricky, I'm sure, wants it as the challenger. Does that seem, as of right now, what the next fight for you?
I'm thinking so. Just because he just beat Benson Henderson and he knocked out Josh Thompson, and I think he's on a 3 or 4 fight winning streak. So that's what I'm thinking, and that's what I've heard. Him and Derek Campos. I know Derek Campos went on a little run, and he's been whooping some butt too. So I'm thinking one of those two guys, or just whoever the fans want to see me fight, and whoever Bellator wants to see me fight. I want to fight the best guys, and right now, unfortunately, it's not Chandler. So on to the next, and I think it might be Pitbull, but we should know, and hopefully we'll know soon.
Alrighty, well, Brent, thank you very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Before I let you go, let my audience know where they can find you on social media, and if there's anybody you'd like to thank or give a shout-out to, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you can catch me, Brent Primus 155 at Instagram and Twitter, and I got to thank my sponsors, Bad Boy. They always hook me up and help me out with all the best training gear, and Roots Organics from Eugene, and Don Lewis Plumbing, and Big Kahuna Bulls, and Skylar, and then Buff Cake, and Skylar Orthopedics, and man, there's so many. I wouldn't be able to do this without my sponsorships, and thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And again, thanks for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.